Hey folks, it's Chris Gordon here for Unsung Heroes, a DJB production, and no better way to wake up than that riffage right there from the White Trash Stars, an original project that stars lead vocalist and my very special guest today, Caz Ferante. Did I get that right?
Ferante. It takes a while.
Yeah, I set that up for you. What's going on, my man? How you been?
Good. How you been? Thanks for having me, man. This is quite an honor, actually, to be doing this. Is kind of cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. That our opening video, man, brought back some memories. I've done some shows with you. I'm trying to remember the year, but it was a few years back. I forget what band I was with, but we did some shows with you. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, do you remember where it was?
Yeah, I believe it was Delaware. It was a Delaware venue. I'm trying to remember.
Bar 13? Probably Bar 13.
I think there was another one. It might have been Bar 13. Absolutely could have been, but I thought there was one further south that we may have done a show together. I can't remember the name of the venue. Oh my God, it's been that long. Anyway, so how you been?
Good. Everything's good. Thank you.
Very cool. So the White Trash Stars, I want to talk also about your Motley Crue tribute. I want to get into tributes today with you big time because I've been in 4 of them, and I'm very interested on your insight on that. But let's talk about the original project. What's been happening?
The original project pretty much started in 2000. I think it was 16 when I joined. They were looking for a singer. It was just a drummer and the bassist. Ray D, the guitar player, started the band. Came out with the name. Then I came in. They opened for my Motley band, and he tried to get me in before, but I just didn't have enough time to do it. So eventually I fell into it. Ray wrote all the songs and gave them to me. I just wrote the lyrics to all the songs, and we did our first CD volume from the outside. And we started, things started to pick up from there. And we opened up for Faster Pussycat, Junkyard, Little Caesar.
Wow, Little Caesar.
Yeah, Rough Out. We did some really cool shows, and then one of our members left, and we kind of had to replace them. And then COVID hit, and that was I think the last show we did was like 2 years ago. But starting to get the machine back going again, and we did a follow-up song, Take a Ride, which actually had Zeus, Rob Zombie's producer, mix and master it, which it really came out great. Really,
nice.
What a difference it makes when you have someone that's really skilled and professional, and they bring out all those live pieces.
Yeah.
That we didn't hear when we recorded it, but when Zeus got a hold of it, it was just like night and day, and like, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
That's about the best way to go, just to get it professionally done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know that.
So have you guys been writing since lockdown?
Yep, I've been writing. Ray's been writing. He moved to Florida, so we've been communicating. We usually do the M3 pre-party every year, but it kept getting canceled. So I know they're going to do that again through Dave Dillman, and that's usually the Thursday before the Friday, the 3-day event. So we're not going to be in this year's one because it's just too short notice, and definitely be back in it next year. You know how fun the M3 is, the concert. I don't know if you ever did one of the pre-parties for Dave, but that's fun.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, we get to play with Station, Wild Street, a couple of the bands from New York.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Oh, very cool. Well, that sounds like a lot of great things are going to be coming up for that, and hopefully, there'll be many more shows to do.
Yeah, right.
Back into that. I am. Yeah. I've been in rehearsal and stuff like that. I mean, the stuff I'm doing is, it's instrumental, so it's not like, it's more cerebral, put it that way. So, yeah.
Looking to hear that.
But it'll be, some interesting stuff. What we've been doing, which is interesting, is we've been doing a lot of video productions, live video productions. So we're actually performing live.
Oh, wow.
So it's not overdubbed. It's live, but it's multi-camera angle shot, and we're usually in a recording studio, so it goes right into the board, so we can post mix, obviously, but it's that performance. So that's been kind of like, yeah, it's been kind of I've been flirting with that a lot lately. I like that
Yeah,
idea.
that's
Kind of
fun.
fun to do. Yeah, it's kind of fun. So let's talk a little bit about the tribute band. How long have you been with Looks to Kill? And was that your baby? Was that your thing?
No, that wasn't my baby. Motley Crue's always been my favorite band since I think '82 when I was at my cousin's house and he had the Too Fast for Love record and put it on, wind up giving it to me, and I was just like, that was it. I was sold. Favorite band. Never I don't think missed a show. Or we just 10 years ago they had a female singer, and they wanted to get a male singer, and a friend of mine told him, well, Kaz really sounds like Vince, but he don't have blonde hair, of course. So they were a little hesitant, and I tried the wig for one show, but just didn't feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Playing the part of Vince. I just didn't feel like I was kind of like worried about it falling off. I just didn't feel comfortable.
Right.
Singing
Yeah.
with the wig on. So that was the last show I did with it, and I just felt, hey, if it sounds like Vince and the music's good and you can put on a good show, so be
Yeah,
it.
but you know what? That's a testament to your band, because at least they were cool with that. I've been in
Yeah,
tribute bands where they had me do the wig thing, and it's exactly how I felt. I said, this is uncomfortable. It's actually blocking my performance. It's like it's on my mind.
yeah, kind of felt. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's always in the back of your mind, and I just didn't feel comfortable. I said, if that's what you guys want, I mean, I'm going. I hate to leave, but we started getting bigger shows. The TLA we did twice, and then the Red and Motorcycle Club festival we did once,
Mm-hmm.
and so 10 years ago I joined them, and we haven't looked back. We had some member changes and all, but now we have playing with us is Greg Tripp from Octane. He's on
Okay.
guitars. Bobby Taylor from Cold Gin. That's a Kiss tribute.
Yeah. Oh, Bobby. Yeah.
We have Neil Gamble on drums, but right now we're using Bobby Perillis for a few shows and all, because Neil's work and stuff. He's a DJ at Cheerleaders. So, and we
Okay.
got two killer shows coming up. May 22nd at halftime in Newark, Delaware.
Yeah. I did my UFO tribute there. It's a great room.
Oh, you're in the ELO tribute?
No,
Paul?
not ELO, UFO.
Oh, UFO. Okay.
Yeah, Michael Schenker, UFO.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we did. We actually played, I think, the last show there before shutdown. Yeah, it was that.
That's still together, right? You still guys together?
Yeah. We still, we still get together. It's fun to do. It's why the hair is in the condition it's in at the moment, because it's the Michael Schenker do.
Yeah.
But that's that thing. Yeah. So that was fun to do right before shutdown. We got to go in there and blow out some cool tunes. A lot of UFO stuff and some Michael Schenker stuff too. So
it looks like a great venue. I mean, I only played there once with White Trash before the COVID, but yeah, I hear good things about it.
It's a good place. Oh, Mark's a great guy, and sound is good, and they and by the way, for the listeners out there, very important to know about speaking of this venue where you guys will be at. What's the date again?
May 22nd.
May 22nd. This is important to know for the viewers out there who have any concerns. The halftime staff and the owners are very on top of this whole thing, this whole distancing thing. They're very cool. It's done right. I have been there during the shutdown, and I was blown away by how not only they ran it, but how the people respected that space in that time. So I just kind of want to throw that out there. It's important to know, especially today. And it was, even when I was there in the middle of it with the Mad Trio, it was great. Like everyone followed the rules and everyone had a great time. There was no issues whatsoever. So it was all good.
A great band you guys had with Ronnie and all, the Mad Trio.
Oh yeah, the Mad Trio. Yeah. That's a whole other. That's a whole other story. Yeah, that's a story over another bottle.
We'll have to get that. I'll get the bottle. You too.
Yeah. Right. There's some great stuff. So So you guys go out there, you get this thing. So now I'm going to get into like my thing. I'm always been curious about the tribute thing because to me it's kind of what happened in a way. Like the cool thing about tributes is it's a great way to market. I mean, obviously that's a very superficial thing to say. Let me rephrase that because I know what you do it because you love the band and you love the tunes.
Yeah.
That's a given, you know.
Yeah.
That's why I've always done obscure tribute bands because you're like, why would you do a UFO tribute band? Who knows who they are? It's like I love the music. That's why I do it.
That's important.
Having said that, though, from a marketing standpoint, from a businessman standpoint, there's something a little bit more focused about a tribute band than say a cover band. You know, a cover band is kind of like, you know, hey, we're going to go see this band. They could be playing Boston. They could be playing whatever. The audience kind of already has an expectation when they come to see Looks to Kill, right? They know what they're getting. They know what they're in for. Your job, of course, is to make it the greatest Motley Crue experience they could ever have.
Right. Up until the next best thing is singing Motley Crue, of course.
Right.
And you know, and it helped when they retired. We were getting more shows, but now they're back, which is great too. I'm looking forward to that. But like you said, yeah, I mean, I never thought about it as making money for me, and I'm sure for you, it was just the love of getting out there and playing your favorite band and music, and you know, trying to live somewhat what they did on stage. But it's
Right.
just great to see the people singing back and having. It's mostly just having. If they're having a good time, that just makes my day. I mean, if you can just give them that little 2 hours straight that we do play of the Crew and just take them out of reality and put them in that setting, and people just come up and be like, yeah, man, you really took me back to the 80s when there was so much fun and all. And I'm like, that to me that's just cool. I don't, I never go out there thinking, oh yeah, I'm Nikki Sixx or Vince Neil or Tommy, or no, I just want to play the music, no ego.
Right. I mean, you have and that's, you see, that gets into a whole other thing too, is there have been, and I've at one point was guilty of it, of not knowing where I started and the person I was tributing ended or began. You know what I mean? Where I ended and the other one began. I was doing a TLA with my Yngwie tribute back when I had the hair, and I was accused of being the asshole that everyone thought Yngwie was, simply because we were headlining. I had the best dressing room.
Well,
so the other bands were running around going, that guy, he must be like Yngwie. He must be an asshole because that's what and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the case at all. Like,
But it's like an actor. You're once you're in the role, you kind of got to stay in it for a little bit. You follow?
No, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, and I certainly get that, especially when you start playing the music, dude. It's over, right? But I think it's even before then, right? It's in the dressing room, right? You're getting into the.
Oh, I'm getting into the character probably on the way, just listening to live Crew, and it's just like an actor. You're getting character. I mean, it's not being having any ego or anything, but you want to get in the character. I mean, that's going to give you your best performance,
right?
I think. I mean, but I could see, some people being like, oh yeah, who's he think he is? But hey, you're there to entertain and.
Yeah, it gets just different. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just interesting to me that sometimes, and obviously you're always going to have that. You're always going to have, people who might be even taken aback by it, like, oh, Jesus, like that's like, and a lot of it might be just them trying to compute, like, shit, is that the real thing? Like, I don't even know. I mean, obviously, like, if you're in Vegas and places, like in certain casino strips that I played in where there were these big venues that you did, and you did that, they almost expected you to be that way. You'd come off stage and they would have been deflated if you literally stepped out of character for a minute. It would have deflated them. They would have been like, oh, wait a minute.
So with that, like the whole Vegas thing, I mean, I never played the tribute band out there, but I guess that must have been like a whole step up. Like, wow.
It's cool, but it's like it depends on it depends on how much I would have had to drink that day. But the pressure is different. It's like, but at the same time, it's almost like a machine. You're just kind of going up there and you're doing it, but it's almost kind of like you're insulated from everything else. Because first of all, I'm not like, I don't you know, I never, like, I wasn't down gambling during the day or anything like that. I'm a pretty isolated person in general, but when you get out there, it's just kind of like, you know, the only difference is like, you know, the sound's going to be good. You just go in knowing it's like, it's just going to sound great, because there's no other way it can, because you've got the best of the best, you know, doing sound, you know, running sound and all that. But yeah, you're the all the call times and all that stuff, man. That's like, oh, and the other pre-business, you know, because depending on the casino, you're an employee at that point of the casino.
Yeah, it's true.
So you sort of lose your agency for a bit. It's kind of weird, you know. You're handing over your license, you know. You got like, oh, it's kind of weird. Like, you know, you're walking down and you're all, you know, you're dressed, you're ready to do your thing, but you're like answering to hospitality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me, where are you supposed to be? I'm like, I'm heading to the stage. Give me a second. You're getting your balls busted. I'm like,
yeah. Well, we did the one show at Harris with Roughhouse, and we had to do the whole hand in the license thing, and that was kind of weird. I think even someone asked me, "Can you get me a drink?" I was like, "I don't work here."
I've played places that they don't let you drink, so I had to get real creative.
Yeah.
How I got around that.
Yeah, like a Sprite, right?
Well, no, I don't, because it couldn't be a clear bottle, because I don't drink clear booze. Had
Okay.
it been like clear, that would have made sense. Yeah, if it was clear. But no, it was like I had like thermoses. So it's mineral water. Trust me.
Walk in with the helmet with the two slots and the straws coming down.
It's just tea. No, I got to the point where I was putting them in like the actual casino hospitality teacups. Just walking in like tea. It's like, it's tea. And it looks like tea, so no one questioned me. I'm like, okay, we're good. It was just really weird seeing a cup of tea on my Marshall stack. It was kind of weird.
For the vocals. It's for your vocals.
Yeah. Just a little nip. So do you ever feel that when you're, you know, obviously we talked about the fact that you love it, you love doing it, and you know, it's great because you're bringing that. Before I get off this idea, because I wanted to ask you about what's that show called? It's called the Battle of the Tributes.
Oh, with Paul Bacari's doing?
Yeah, are you guys getting involved with that?
No, I mean, we haven't been asked. I mean, I would have loved to. That would have been awesome. No, I mean, maybe I should reach out to Paul. It looks great.
Yeah, I would definitely see you guys being serious contenders in that.
Thank you. Yeah,
in that kind of situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, and I know Vince Neil gets a lot of crap for his voice and all, but I got to give him credit, man. Nicky wrote some high lyrics for him, man. Some of that stuff's hard. That Vince.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and you got to remember, he's been going on doing it for how many years, how many nights? I mean, I can't imagine, but you know.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I can, you know, I always, you know, the latitude to singers is immense, because you guys have you guys got a whole different issue going on than
yeah.
You know, I mean, I can play with 102-degree fever. I can do the gig. I mean, it's not going to be the most amazing thing, but I'll get through it.
I did one show with the flu, and I don't know how I got through it, but I got through it, and I just laid behind the stage until we had to leave afterwards. I was just drained, but yeah, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
You doing
unless
that,
being in the hospital.
Not being in the what?
Unless you're in the hospital, you know, you just get on the stage, do the best you can, and just deal with it afterwards. You know.
I did a show where I was so sick I was literally hallucinating. I was like, it's just the craziest shit. What's going on?
In the crowd, right?
It was weird. It was a weird gig. I was like, I said to myself, I would never do it again. I would never put myself in that situation again, but I had no choice. I had to do it. But yeah, you get, you know, it gets weird. You know, you're just like, you're poor in sweat. You're not, you know, everything feels off. You're just like, everyone feels like they're a million miles away. You're just like, what the hell? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
And then you're just like, am I playing anything that resembles what I'm supposed to be, you know? So
you played Barbara Streisand the whole set, dude.
yeah. Why not? I was like, yeah, that's what, did I? Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I had a bass player save my ass one night. We were playing a
Oh,
tune, and I completely, I don't know what happened. I had the intro, and I blanked. Didn't know it, but I didn't care because I was so sick and like, I just started playing something. The next thing you know, he comes up behind me, and he had a 6-string bass, and he starts playing the part, and he just leans into me. And he's like, dude, ride it out until you know where you are. Saved my ass. I was like, thank you, dude. I was
uh,
like, Jesus.
man, kudos to him, man. Yeah, don't you hate that when you're black? I think I can remember one song, "Home Sweet Home," one of my favorite songs that I've sung a million times, and I forgot the first three lines.
Oh, the first 3 lines completely blank.
Yeah, I'm a dreamer. I couldn't find it in my head. I just did not. Everyone's looking at me, so I just said, "All right, you guys sing it," and I'm just making up stuff until someone whispered in my ear. I just blacked out. I don't know why. There was
Oh,
maybe too much Gentleman Jack that night, or
oh man. Oh, dude, I got a Gentleman Jack story for you. I'll save it for later.
okay,
But since we're on stories, man, this is fun. I love this. I love road stories. I want to talk about good gigs and bad gigs. I think
okay.
it's fun. It's fun to do. But we're on the bad gig shit. So let's keep going. Worst gig experience. Like just fuck me, what am I doing here? Shit kind of stuff. That's what I mean.
Well, was it? Well, last time at Tom and Jerry's, Greg Tripp's amp just kept cutting out. I mean, we have an intro to the show, and as soon as the intro stops, we go in the Saints of Los Angeles, and he starts
Oh,
playing the
cool.
first riff, and it cuts out, and there's no guitar for the first verse. Then it comes back on, and by then I'm like sweating. I'm like, oh no, because you want it to start off with a bang. So then we go
Yeah.
into the next song, it cuts out again, then it keeps cutting out. Fourth song, we're up to the fourth song, keeps cutting out. So if, I don't know, I never, I felt bad for him, but
Right.
that stuck in my mind, like, oh, that one of those moments, like, oh, just get me to the last song. I'm like sweating
Oh,
because
well,
you have
yeah. You're looking down at the set list and you're like, why is this set list so long? It's like,
usually it flies by, and then I'm looking at people
right.
that are seeing us for the first time. I'm like, oh no. But it wasn't his fault. I think it was an electrical issue. So we rearranged some stuff we had plugged in and blah blah blah. But that, I mean, outside of that, I mean, another gig is when the drummer's drums kept falling down. That kind of was irritating. Like, really?
So they're like technical issues.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
far as that bad show, I'm trying to think as a bad show as far as like something that happened or in the
I just,
crowd.
yeah. I mean, the technical stuff is good too. I'm just curious to like, oh yeah, crowd shit's funny as shit.
Yeah, the crowd. Yeah, especially yeah, you're always walking up to the gig and someone be like, "Hey, Ozzy Osbourne," and it's like they always go call anyone with long hair or makeup or
Yeah.
they always
Yeah.
refers to Ozzy or Kiss, and it's like,
I did a show. I did a show once. It was with the Mad Trio, and it was one of those. Speaking on that thing, that cat calling thing. Stu was like Freebird, kept yelling
ah,
Freebird. So you know what we did?
played
We
Freebird.
we fucking played it, and we played a 40-minute version of it.
Oh my God.
So it's 20 minutes. We doubled it. Like
Ah,
I soloed for the. It was a 40-minute set. I did the whole one song.
nothing was thrown at you.
Nope. And no one ever asked for it again.
That'd be that'd be
And
great
that
to
was
start
my
singing.
attitude. I'm like, oh, you want Freebird? Oh, you're going to get Freebird.
You should have sang it in Spanish or something. That would have been funny.
Yeah. But so that cat, the weird stuff like that. And obviously, it doesn't throw you off your game. You're there to do your thing. But,
Oh
you
yeah, or you get the dude. We're in the 2000s, not the 80s anymore. And I'm like, well, dude, this is the way I dress every day, and I'm pretty
right.
much sure it's still in style. I'm not up here wearing parachute pants or anything
Yeah.
these days.
Doing like Huey
But
Lewis.
yeah, I let my little girls. I have 2.5-year-old twin girls and a 7-year-old girl, and I let them paint my nails, my toenails. They want to do pink, go for it. You want to do black, go for it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but this is, people ask, you wear eyeliner every day? I'm like, yeah, it's just natural now. It just takes me one second, boop, boop, out the door. This is me. This is who I am. I'm not like no weekend warrior.
Right. Right.
This is who I am. And,
Right. It's what you are. That's the thing. It's like, you have to, You know, you have to embrace it and be who you are. You know.
Oh, well, you
That
know
I,
that.
you know, I said that in an interview we did at Spring City, where I was like, you know, this isn't, you know, I was pointing to the guys in my band, and we were sitting there on this couch on camera, and I'm like, this is what we dress like every day. I mean, like, this is what I'm wearing right now. I would literally walk up on stage with, which hasn't changed for me since the '80s, except for the length of my hair. But other than
Right.
that, it's always been the same. You know,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, you always get the one person like, when you gonna give it up, dude? Or when, and then it's just like, what? When I'm 6 feet under, I mean, anything's
but
possible. I mean, it's not. No one said, all right, once you hit 40, you can't be successful playing music. I'm not. I'm not out to be like the biggest person band in the world. I just enjoy it, and if you can, if you're alive and you can still do it, and you still have the passion, why not, right?
right,
That's the
yeah.
way I look at it. But you always get like someone that will say that, yeah, I think you think you're a little too old for this. Like, really? Like,
Do you? Yeah, I mean, I don't. I don't really see that. I have with what I've seen. I don't get that too much in terms of, you know. I mean, I believe it happens. I believe that, you know, people come up and, you know, and I think the more animated, you know, you are, or the more confident that you are as an artist or as, you know, singer or a band leader, you're going to draw that attention. You know, and what do they say? Haters going to hate. You know,
yeah,
everyone's going to, you know, somebody's good somewhere is going to have, you know. But
yeah,
again, you chalk it up to the fact that that says more about them than it says about you. You know,
yeah.
I
You
mean,
always get,
you're not stopping your day to turn around and go, "Hey, you in the business suit,
yeah,
when are you just going to stop?"
yeah. When
You
you
know what
just,
I mean? You're not playing that game. You know, you're just going about your thing. Which you are a business owner, right?
yes, I own Threadworks custom embroidery and studio, and we do patches, anything embroidered, printed stuff like this shirt, anything pretty much. I do all my stage clothes, but Forgotten Saints of LA, Cody Verona, that does like all Motley Crue's, most of Motley Crue stuff, Rob Zombie, John Five. She does all my pants for stage; they're all custom. But
Oh,
that's the
cool.
only thing I don't do is the pants. She does all that, and that's Forgotten Saints of LA. And she's been around forever. She's great. I don't know if you ever seen her stuff, but she does a lot of.
No, my wife probably has. My wife's responsible for my wardrobe. She kind of
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, if you ever.
she stays on top of it. She's a big Crew fan too. She's got Nikki Sixx's name tattooed on her back.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
that's sweet. Where
yeah,
at, on her arm, belly, side?
it's the lower back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Um, they're covered now. Part of it's covered with the three koi fish, which represent the daughters.
Okay, you have three daughters. Okay, great.
So it represents the kids. Um, so, where are you putting most of your? Well, I mean, obviously, if COVID aside, your energies. So you're balancing these two. You've got the looks to kill. And then you've got the original thing. Is there any in your? And I'm speaking specifically for you, not anyone else in the band. Is there any point where obviously there's an influence in the White Trash Stars,
Right.
but um, is there any change for you? Like, do you go through any kind of mental uh, rewiring when you step into the original thing?
Yeah, pretty much. I pretty much lately been like listening to a lot of like Shinedown, Marilyn Manson, for influences. Always, I like 6 a.m. stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to like instead of like doing the verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, the solo format for songs, I'm trying to think of stuff different. Like, I taught well, when my kids were born, the twins, I had a lot of downtime just, watching them fall asleep and all that. So I actually taught myself guitar like 10 years ago or
Mhm.
7, 8 years ago with the 7-year-old. And then I took lessons at my buddy's studio, in Delaware, Jamland. And, going to start going back. But yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, you don't want to make it sound like Motley Crue, your original, but you're also influenced by someone, right?
Yeah, I mean, when Ronnie and I would write, especially the early writing things, whatever tribute band I was in at the time leaked. There was a little leaking going on. So we did this one 4-song EP where it sounds like Yngwie. But I mean, not the songs,
Right.
the guitar solos.
Yeah.
Well, some of the songs did. One of the songs was blatant. It was a blatant
That's
ripoff.
cool. That's cool too. Just what you do with it, right? I mean,
Yeah, but there came a point where like I was just like, because I was going through, because I was remastering some of them. That's part of the 48-hour issue I was dealing with. I was also doing some remastering, and I'm listening to stuff, and I'm like, wow, it's good, but it's just too blatant. Where for me, I'm speaking like just and then the stuff that we did over when COVID hit and we were in lockdown and we continued to write. That's when I started to hear the sound. I was like, that's it. And that was because I was kind of free of all of that, because the stuff we'd done before, I was with a Queen tribute band. So all the shit sounded like Brian May with Ronnie's soaring vocals over it. I'm like, Jesus, like, I'm bringing it up because I've had a problem sometimes being able to separate my playing from who I'm, because like yourself, I mean, and I'm assuming this because you care about your audience, you care about what you're bringing to them. It's quality. So you're not going to sit there and go, oh, you want me to sing Vince Neil? Yeah, I know the songs. And you do it. You kind of ensconce yourself in it. And like when I did the Queen thing, I became so obsessed with every little thing that Brian May did on the recordings that it was like a tattoo. It imprinted itself on me.
I know
I'm getting philosophical, but I want to get your input on that.
Yeah, it happened with White Trash Stars when I first joined. I went in, we sang the first song, and I sang it in my Vince voice. I'm like, this ain't my natural voice, and I was singing everything like Vince. And I'm like, oh no,
really?
I gotta figure a way to sing in my own voice and not sing the songs I wrote in a Vince Neil voice. So I had to step back a little bit and try to find my voice, because with writing the songs, he would give me the music, and I would just drive around trying to come up with a hook and a feeling. What's it about?
Right.
And one was Runaway. The one song was It's Okay, Come Clean. Come Clean was a song that everyone thinks is about a girl, but it's not. It's about dealing with being addicted to like pain pills and all.
Mm-hmm.
And which kind of is like a play on words, come clean. And stuff like that. And that was deep for me, that song. And then It's Okay was just about being who you want to be. It's okay to be who you want to be, and stuff like that. And then we did a song, Are You Ready? I think the other song was Alive at Last, but the most recent one, Take a Ride, is really I mean, I like it a lot, because I put in it two special places for me. Is always Hollywood and New Orleans. My daughter, she graduated from LSU. She's been out in New Orleans for 16 years. She's lived there. And my other favorite place to go is Hollywood. Oh, I used to work for U.S. Airways part-time. We could fly free, so I'd be out there every couple months, just get a room for a couple days and fly back free. And
Nice.
But that's what Take a Ride is. Just taking a ride, leaving everything behind, get out there. And I mean, but going back to the thing, yeah, I had to find my own voice, especially when you're in a cover band that I have done for years. Like you're singing Bon Jovi songs like Bon Jovi, then you're singing the top 40 stuff, Green Day, and then you're trying to do the Green Day voice, and then at some point you forget what your voice is.
Wow. Yeah, I think in the early days, especially with cover bands, I was kind of a dick because I just played whatever I wanted. I'd play the song. And unless the solo was iconic, if it was an iconic solo, I'd play the solo. Like obviously, I'm not gonna fuck with a Randy Rhoads solo. I'm not gonna fuck with an Eddie Van Halen solo. And I might not fuck with Hotel California solo either. But everything else is fair game. Sure. And I would just do my own thing. And for the longest time, everyone was okay with it. No one ever bitched. No one complained. We're getting back to like a bad gig.
And then
Um,
they'll be like, don't do a long solo because you're going to lose the crowd. But to me, I love a solo.
well, the Med Trio had an interesting thing because we could, in the early days of that band, we completely got away with that, and everyone started coming out to see what we were going to do to these songs. They're like, "What the fuck are they going to do? We don't know." And it was just because it's three of us, and it was so interactive and intense musically. Because I mean, with
Oh, yeah.
all three of us were just
I went to the one casino show, and I'm drawing a blank. It was all the way down 95, going towards North Philly. Is it Parks? Where
Parks.
is it? Where that's the one where the stage is up above the bar? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's where I saw you.
That's when we did that. Was when we won the MGK House Band
Yep,
contest,
yep.
and we were the complete underdog because we didn't
Yeah,
bring anybody because we hadn't been a band. We had split up for like a year. We had decided to do separate things.
it
The
was
drummer
very.
had the drummer just had some kids, so he was like, dude, I've got kids. I got fucking diapers. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So he was all freaked out and everything like that. So my wife, I come home one day and my wife's like, "Hey, MGK's running that contest again." I was like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "You should submit something." I'm like, "No, I shouldn't." Like, I didn't even, I was like, "No, I shouldn't." She goes, "No, you're doing this." And it just so happened that I was going through old discs and there was, we had recorded at our one studio, White Room. And I was like, fuck it, I'll submit it. Hadn't talked to the guys, haven't talked to them in 9 months.
Wow.
Drummer's off, being a new father. Ronnie's writing, I'm writing. We're just doing our own thing. I get a phone call 2 days later. They're like, "You're in." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you." I hang up and I'm like calling the guys. I'm like, "Guys, hey man, how you been?
Yeah.
We're in the MGK contest." And then we just, so when we got to Parks, we were up against these other phenomenal bands. And we had to, but we had the medley. And that was, see, so the medley was us bringing together what we normally would have done, which is we would have just shredded and done our thing. I said, no, 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 no. We need to rein this in. And getting back to the tribute thing, focal point, like literally be a laser. And so 12 songs in 12 minutes works for me. Let's make it. So we did. And that's what happened.
Yeah, it was great. It said that when you first called them, that had to be a shock. We're in a contest, but how you doing? It's been 9 months.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny because, my drummer, who we affectionately call the Millennial, he's like, "Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. Oh shit, my kid just shit herself. I'll call you back." And literally just, and he was like, "I'll see you at rehearsal." Like he almost had no fucks to give. Yeah. Ronnie, on the other hand, was much more like, "Okay, what's our plan?" Like, he was more like myself. He's like, "Okay, what are we doing? All right, go get a drink. Call me back in 10 minutes. We'll get this, and so we formulated a plan.
Oh, well, yeah.
But
You and Ronnie are great musicians. I mean, I had the pleasure of being over at Ronnie's house a couple times for when we did the tribute for Johnny G.
yeah, yeah,
And Ronnie's got some pipes too.
yeah. He's great. And people always ask me, they're like, "When you do that Boston song, do you tune down?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"No." And then he's like, "Oh, your singer sings like Brad Delp perfectly." I'm like, "Yeah, that's because
that's Ronnie.
that's what he does." Yeah.
Yep.
But so
It's like the Vince Neil screams. You have any balls? I'm like, yep.
yeah, yeah.
Just keep it
So when you guys, the thing I find fascinating too is you have this lineup of guys. Now you have the original lineup, you have the tribute band lineup. Is everyone on the same page? Like when you're in those rehearsals, when you're in the business meetings and all that stuff.
I got I mean the times that we have it. Yeah, it's like what the past couple shows that we have used Bobby Perillas. We never even practiced. I just gave him the set, communicated with him, and
Yeah.
Bobby's a pro, and it was like we were practicing for years. So
Right.
when we practiced with Neil, the drummer, the other drummer that is in the band, uh, everyone was on the same page, and it was great. And Greg Tripp, right, from Octane.
Yeah.
Tripp. Yeah, he's a character. Sometimes you just gotta tell him to focus because he's all over the place and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever not been in a band that everyone wasn't on the same page. Maybe once, and
Mm,
that's when you're like, yeah, this guy's really not into it. You know,
yeah.
I usually can tell right away, first song or two, if they did their homework or not. But everyone was always jacked that we had in the crew tribute band to play and want to play the songs. And we try to play a lot of the B songs and stuff like that other bands won't play. Some that people love that people forget about, like Use It or Lose It, stuff like that. I
Do
like
any
to
of the
play.
Karabi stuff? Do you guys touch that?
Well, the time we played at the Bonnie Rocks benefit, I think it was maybe 5 years back.
Mm-hmm.
John Karabi was there, and he came on stage. I forgot to tell that story. That was a great experience for me. We played three songs with him: Live Wire, Hooligan's Holiday, and I forget the other crew songs. So we did three songs with him on guitar, and me and him both sang Hooligan's Holiday. But
Nice.
afterwards, some of the stories he had was just great because everyone left. And it was just me, him, and another friend of mine at the bar, and we were just chatting for about an hour and a lot of crew stories, a lot of
Yeah.
really cool stuff and not so cool stuff, and kind of felt bad how they don't talk to him or Tommy and Nikki don't, but Mick and Vince do. And it's kind of weird, like Vince talks to him now. They're
Yeah,
friends.
right. Yeah. Well,
But
sometimes that is the case. Like sometimes you befriend the person that replaced you for a period of time
yeah,
because they've shared a certain experience. Yeah, it's
yeah,
not the same, but at the same time, there is that. So even the like Karabi, I can see even almost becoming more understanding of Vince. You know.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that whole CD I loved. It's a shame it didn't. Maybe if they did not call it Motley Crue, but I don't know how you felt about that CD, but I thought it was
I
cool.
thought that's a really interesting. Yeah, I thought about that a lot because I gotta be honest with you, I love that. I love the not only the tunes, but I love the production on it too. I love the whole vibe of that record, and of course, love. I've always been a fan of Karabi, so because I saw him when he was with Scream
Yeah,
with Bruce Boulay, who I was also a fan of. So I was like, oh, this is really good. And now it's interesting you say that because as soon as you said that, it hit me. I was like, wow, I wonder if in their minds, this complete conjecture, but in their minds, it was like the same thing. Like, remember when Ronnie James Dio joined Sabbath? It wasn't Black Sabbath anymore. It wasn't it was so different, heaven and hell. And that's why a lot of fans, and I do it too from time to time, I refer to those two records as the Heaven and Hell band.
right.
Like, so Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules with Dio it's Sabbath, but is it? You know what I mean? So when I
Yeah,
listen to the Crew album with Karabi, it's like, and I wonder if maybe, and yeah, from a marketing standpoint, if I was the president of that label, I'd be like, you ain't changing that fucking name. Motley
yeah,
Crue means money,
yep,
you know.
yeah.
And
Choice
maybe
there.
from a band standpoint, they were hoping that it would have been like that, Ozzy, because to me it mirrored that. It was like, oh, this is kind of like when Ozzy was out and Dio came in. Because let's face it, and correct me if I'm wrong. As a matter of fact, kick my ass if I'm wrong. But comparing uh, Ronnie James Dio to Ozzy is not unlike. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility of comparing Karabi to Vince Neil.
Yeah,
And I'm asking because you're the expert.
I'd have to agree. Yeah, I mean,
All right. So, folks,
just
Kaz has agreed with me on that one.
yes, I have.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just the whole two guitars and the whole with Mick and John was great, and that same night, going back to that story that John was there. I just met him 5 minutes later. I'm up on. He did an acoustic show for everyone before we went on, and he pulls me out to do Home Sweet Home, and that was pretty surreal for me. We did
Oh,
an
that's
acoustic
awesome.
home, but he's got a great voice too, just great.
Yeah. You got a very powerful, voice. I thought, like I said, with what they were writing they were writing together, I was like, wow, this is really. I was really kind of excited to see where it was going to go. I
Yeah,
was like, man, I want to hear the follow up to this, but then it didn't happen. So
and even a couple of years ago with Mick and John, we're going to do a CD, and I don't know what the rumors were that someone squashed it. They didn't want Mick playing with them, so I don't know if that rumor was true. But I remember Mick releasing 2 snippets. It's probably like 3 years ago, but hopefully that will come out someday.
the politics of bands, man, it makes national politics look like a walk in the park.
That's true.
Band politics are crazy shit because they change from day to day.
I think that's one of the great accomplishments, a band that can stay together from the start. Def Leppard, stuff like that. Like that's a feat in itself, I would think.
I think any band that can stay together, on any level, is a feat in itself. And I know friendship plays a role in that, and I think that's important. But I think that that's one of the reasons that I was asking that question earlier about that. Everyone on the same page, and how do you deal with certain things? Because sometimes that takes a left turn when you're not looking.
Yeah, and then always someone's other significant other might get involved. I've heard horror stories about that with
the Yoko
like
syndrome.
Yeah, and,
they come in there like, oh,
never happened to me, but I've heard horror stories. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh wow, I just thought it was within it happens, like with the members, and you have to what do you say disagree on stuff because that's the creative process. You can't always agree, and then you can't always be right, all 4 of you. I mean,
oh yeah, it's impossible. You gotta
have to disagree because sometimes it might make sense. Oh yeah, you are right. That does sound like crap, or yeah, that don't fit there. That's not a good lyric, or yeah,
but that's the process, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I welcome criticism and all. People are like, oh, you don't mind me telling you how I feel? Yeah, if you don't like, I'd rather have you tell me you don't like the song than like it just because you don't want to hurt my feelings. Or I'm always ready to improve.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. So when are we going to get new White Trash Star stuff? When is that? You going to be releasing anything, and how are you releasing it?
Well, hopefully, fall we'll have we're working on this next CD, which Take a Ride we released already. We'll be on it. We're doing next song's Fire Me Up, and another song called Speed, and some other stuff Ray's been writing and myself. So we're looking at fall.
Cool.
So I mean, I'm definitely looking for it. I'm always writing on the side, doing some side stuff, some side songs, projects, and I'm back in voiceover school. I do voiceovers for my buddy's podcast. You remember Riley Cote played for Flyers?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, him and my friend.
Now you're talking about the Flyers. Yeah, that's another story.
My good buddy was with the team and stuff like that, and they have a podcast
awesome.
They have a podcast called Nasty Knuckles. So I do the voiceovers for that every week, and they have all NHL guests on it. So it's a really good podcast. So I'm back in voiceover school again because that's something I always liked, but I wanted to learn more. So
cool.
Working with a company out in LA, one of the top rated, Dave Walsh. He directed me to them. So yeah, that's another thing I am also having the pot with, 2 bands, the business, and now voiceovers.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool, man. Yeah, voiceover is great stuff.
Yeah.
No. And the name of your embroidery, it's not an embroidery business, but it is. How are you marketing this thing? Are you doing like stage wear? Or are you doing? I mean, you're doing it all. But
well, yeah, I've been in the business since '91. Been on my own for probably 18 years, 20 years. And we do everything from corporate to schools, and of course, I do my own. Like, here's some of my own. I did that.
Oh, that's cool.
From scratch, and then we have the White Trash Stars. And yeah, so
I like that. I might have you do some of my
whatever you need, man. Yeah, we do patches, and anything, hats. I do a lot of hats. I used
Oh, that's
to.
awesome. That's awesome.
I would put the numbers and names on all the Flyers hats for their locker room, for their stuff and all.
Oh,
So
cool.
pretty
Okay,
much
well, we're gonna put that in the description link as well. So people
yeah,
can get
yeah, we
in
do
touch with
everything,
you.
anything.
And again, you're going to be back out with Looks to Kill at halftime in Newark, Delaware. Great venue, by the way, people. And that is
May 22nd, and with
May 22nd.
Batshit Crazy Band starting the night off for us. And
Oh,
then,
Batshit. Okay.
yeah, June 11th, we're back at Tom and Jerry's, another awesome venue.
Yep. That's not far from me. That's like right around the corner.
Oh, okay, yeah, June
And
11th.
hopefully, maybe you guys and the UFO thing can do a show together.
Absolutely, yeah, we're going to talk about that. We got to put that together. Absolutely,
we're opening, so we'll
it
open for you guys. It'll be great.
It doesn't matter. I never had a problem with that either.
We got 15 minutes of something good.
Yeah, that's what I like. We do 2 hours straight of crew. I don't like doing the set thing because you lose the crowd and the momentum, So I like to just go straight through 2 hours, nonstop crew.
Dude, that is badass. 2 solid hours nonstop.
That's what we do every show. And we have
like so you don't. So that's all right. We might have to split this into another show, but I have to ask that because you see, that's now we're getting to deeper shit. We're getting to crazy stories. We might actually have to do a second. We have to do a follow up because I want to do a follow up with you with talking about some of the craziest shit that ever happened. But I want to close on that, dude. That's 2 fucking hours with no intermission. Many tribute bands do intermission, which I always disagreed with. I agree with you. You're absolutely right. You can't. You gotta keep it coming.
Oh yeah, I want if I was out there, I would want the whole concert effect, the feeling of being at a concert. And I always thought we have done where we divided into 2 sets, and you lose everything. You lose the energy, the momentum. You lose people. And then I said no more. We got to do 2 hours straight, and 2 hours to the second. All the 23 songs we do right in a row. No guitar, drum solos, no guitar solos, and I'm pretty much beat by the end of the night with all those high notes. But and it goes by fast. But yeah, I always agreed that I don't like the breaks because it just kills it, I think.
Yeah, plus it doesn't help you guys either, or any band, because now you got to reamp. It's like you got to pull the ripcord again. Yep. You're like, okay, and then you've got the whole intermission backstage distractions, which will be a whole other show that I'm not going to get into right now, because I've had a few situations with the intermission that I came out for the second half, and I'm like, where am I? What am I doing here?
Yep. Right. Yeah, you fall into those party stuff, people and opposites and all that. But yeah, I like the whole. To me, I always just when I saw other tribute bands and they took breaks, I'm like, I just want to feel like I'm at a concert. You work all week, and if you're coming out that Friday or Saturday to see crew and UFO, your favorite tribute, you just want to be like bang, 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 bang. What just happened? Oh man, that was awesome. I'm going home, and I just felt like I was at a concert. Yeah. I always tell the owners, and they're like, you know what? You're right. Let's just go straight through 2 hours. You're going to make the same money. You're going to sell the same alcohol. Probably
right, exactly.
More.
Yeah.
Probably more because no one's going to leave.
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's the other point too. It's also makes business sense. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, Caz, man, what an awesome time it was talking to you about this shit. Like I said, dude, I think we just scratched the surface. There's some crazy ass shit we could talk about. I'd like to get into.
Anytime. I mean, to me, thank you for asking me. It was an honor, and the hour flew by. I mean, when you're just talking about stuff you're passionate about with other passionate people as yourself, it's just, to me.
Oh yeah.
Fun. We can do it again. Absolutely.
We will do it again because there's some great stuff here. So, but thanks again so much for hanging out with me today, and your shows, everything is going to be below here in the description,
Thank you.
And everyone, please check out this band. Not only The Looks of Kill, which is a great band, but keep an ear out and eye out for White Trash Stars as well.
Thank you.
And Caz, great talking to you. Everyone, I'm Chris Gordon, and we'll be hanging out again soon for Unsung Heroes and DJB Productions. Have an awesome day. Peace.